I'm doing it for my daughter.
All of them.
Do you ever get labs done?
I get labs done every 6 months.
I got one recently.
I got some.
Yeah, I got one that said I was okay 2 years ago, and I was like, okay, it's good.
We're good. It's good enough. That lasts for like 25 years. Bill of health for a decade and a half.
I bring it to the Bill of Health ATM machine and I just say, a couple of years back, I said I was good.
You bring it to your funeral? Your mortician?
At 41.
Hey, there's got to be a mistake, man.
Yeah, wake me up.
There's certain outside labs, like outside of Rhode Island and Massachusetts and maybe some other that you can't do. You have to like go out of state. So it's like that in some states in this area too. Isn't that nice?
Well, if you want actual health care, you probably need to go to Israel and become an Israeli citizen.
How would I prove that descent?
Well, you would just say you just read the Torah. You'd be able to prove your religion. It's just a religion, right?
I could do
It's
it.
nothing. There's no genetic component to that. Don't be absurd.
It'd be hard to get the genetic component, seeing as though the genetic component that most people think about was genocided about 1,000 years ago, and they're all gone.
Yeah.
Whatever there is now, who could even say? Phoenicians, Canaanites, I don't know. You take your pick. I have no idea.
Tartarians.
Yeah, could be. They could be from Mars. I don't know. But I got to prove my descent. Maybe I'll just read the books.
Yep, definitely.
Take a chicken to a wall or something like that.
What is that? Take a what?
A chicken to the wall. Was it you cut the head off and wipe the blood on the wall?
Yeah, so you can do a sin offering. You can do things to sort of trick God to negate your own.
You can trick
willful
God.
Sins. Unless there's some tricks that they have. Interesting.
They
put their sins into things, then kill them.
You take God's hand and you put God's hand behind his back.
Yep. He's like,
you're giving God a noogie like this.
Making
That's
him
what you can
puke
do
after
that.
he eats a spaghetti.
Yeah. You can do that. You're like, hey, you got something on your shirt, God. Boom. Bop him on the nose. Yeah.
Also, you can tap him on the on the shoulder. He looks around. He looks back. You can trick him, punch him, knock his teeth out. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that with like animals and other things.
You put your sin into animals and kill them. You have light switches and telephones that don't trigger the electronics, that you can on the Sabbath you can use electronics. You can use electronics. Do you know about that?
No,
it's a thing.
Ha ha ha!
You can't do work.
Oh yeah, you can't do work.
I appreciate the sentiment.
Saturday.
You can't. You see, there's a day or something where you can't use electronics.
Yeah.
So there's an entire industry of like telephones, light switches, etc., where if you move the light switch, it doesn't actually turn the light switch on.
God doesn't. He's like this. Oh, it's fine. That's kosher or whatever.
Oh, that's kosher.
There are phones where
Shabbat.
if you dial the number, type in Shabbat telephone. There's a phone where you don't actually dial the number. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Isn't this fucking crazy?
Yeah.
It's super,
like having,
super funny.
It's
man.
it's like using a Ouija board. It's like having a buffer in between the spirit world. It's a weird like. It's like a weird divination.
Look at these Shabbat gadgets. Go to the Ynet News, the newest rave Shabbat gadgets, and let's see if this gives us an explainer here.
Now that's the one when you can projectile vomit over someone in like a bar. The phone starts dialing itself and it doesn't count.
Yeah, you can. I always do it on black women. Anytime I'm going to be projectile vomiting, I always make sure I'm going to be projectile vomiting on a black woman.
If somehow they didn't notice, I bang him with a glass bottle.
I want to make sure she knew it was me.
That was me.
Go back, Chris.
Also, there's one where you can't rip toilet paper.
You can't rip ass.
So they like pre-rip toilet paper. So, like you can't rip things.
I don't believe. I think it's like Babylonian or Sumer. I think it's like it's like an old religion, but I don't know. It goes way back to Nimrod. It goes so far back.
It does go so far back. Toilet tissue interfolded.
It's almost it's like a Orson Scott Card thing. It's like an Ender. It's like weaponized autism or weaponized OCD. Like weird things that like they run your life, like numbers, patterns, like all different kinds of weird things.
Close that tab there, Chris.
I don't know. It's crazy. It'll drive you crazy.
I don't want to look at it anymore. Have you seen the movie Pi?
I shut it off years ago. Aronofsky.
Yeah.
I mean, this was so long ago. I don't remember why I shut it off, but I watched the rest of his movies. That guy's nuts. But was it good? Did you like it?
Good. I know why you shut it off. It's just because it's intensely
so
stylized.
wacky and
Yeah,
it made me,
it's like it's a lot. It's in your face.
Yeah.
But it is a good movie.
It's been a minute. Wasn't he looking for the name of God?
It's about this mathematician guy who stares into the sun so long that he develops some sort of mathematical prodigalism by getting this direct transmission from the sun, but it gives him these like killer headaches, and he eventually drills a hole in his brain and goes back to almost normal. But it makes him it makes him into this like mathematical super genius, and the Orthodox Jews are trying to kidnap him to get to decipher the mystery of God or something. Meanwhile, these Wall Street people are trying to kidnap him to get him to predict stock prices and shit.
It's freaking good.
It's good for a movie with a very limited budget.
It's good for Aronofsky.
It's for Aronofsky. It's great.
I like the thought of a mathematician being used. Like the only thing that people can think of, your layperson, your mayonnaise brain me, can think of like, what can we use? Like, what would modern like highfalutin mathematics be applied to other than like quantum physics or
Cryptography,
yeah,
stealing, cryptography, spying, stealing and spying.
yeah,
Gambling.
Basically, gambling. Yeah,
yeah.
Polka.
Just in Vegas, just like fucking Russian geeks, just be like getting like mob,
Just to win roulette.
5 He's just like standing on a roulette table and be like, just be like 22. He's like, he's just holding around like 36, 42. Is that a fun? Should we do that? Like go to Las Vegas and just pay like have
Pay Rain Man to play.
have like tax and like some of the guys just like walk up to a table and just be like 42, 36, 40. And people just like betting and shit. People being like, whoa! Stand behind them and
Let's
they're
go, winning numbers. Come on.
just lying the whole time, like creating. We're just losing the
starting
money.
a riot.
You
That guy's got
you
numbers.
lose immediately.
We're like, yeah! Like everybody's like, whoa, that's a lot of action at the table. We're just like throwing $500.
Throwing flashbangs and firecrackers. Yeah. It's
I
a
think
Chinese thing.
China's probably the only frontier. There's probably actual justice in China.
That sounds
Despite
like
everything else, there's probably
justice.
actual justice in China.
Really?
At some point.
that
Probably,
justice
yeah.
in China is like nothing I've ever heard here.
You probably get morsels of it. It's not like comprehensive total justice
No.
system, but you get nuggets of justice.
Yeah, there's
don't
things you
get
can
that
actually
here.
grab, not here.
Yeah.
Here, there'd be a sort of a different scenario. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen sooner or later, so then there'll be metal detectors at every doctor's office. Like, they'll do it sooner or later.
Mhm. The last time I went to a doctor, I got I got an injection. And the lady, the nurse was an absolute gooble. Fucking total. I can't.
Like a purple-haired Kia driver.
no,
Purple Heart vet.
Indian,
Oh,
fat Indian.
wow, fat Indian.
Gobble,
Indian.
gooble, gobble. Didn't barely spoke. I can't understand how this person had a job. Barely spoke English, but I was like, first of all, I asked if I could do the injection myself because I didn't want her to botch it.
Okay.
So she leaves to go ask the person that has any sort of power or authority if I can do the injection myself.
The
And I was
cops
thinking-
come in next time.
I was thinking I should do it myself, but I hear from the lady outside is this big fat like authority monster who's like just super power, super authority, like
She's a
incredible.
superhero.
Her power level is incredible.
She had a
is
job bigger than all of ours.
She as a police officer, she is a superhero, and I couldn't knock her out if I, no matter how hard I
She'd
tried.
laugh.
Nice try.
But she goes out to ask if he's asking if I can do it. I can't even make fun of the. It's not parody. It's not racist parody. It's like the whatever I do will be more complimentary to what it actually was. I'm actually complimenting her by doing an impression. What are you asking if you can do it himself? He's asking if he can do it himself. And the lady, the big authority lady goes, no. Did you leave it in here with him? Did you leave it in here with him?
You're like, pointing at her.
So then she barges in, and I was like, no, I just want to make sure that they aspirate the needle. Do you know what aspirating the needle is?
To make sure there's no air in it?
So it's you stick the needle in and then you pull back, and if you see blood, that means you've hit a vein, and you don't.
Oh,
you,
see, I don't know anything.
You usually don't want that. You don't want to be injecting stuff directly into your bloodstream. You want to aspirate the needle, and that's what they do in Europe. That's what they do in the Netherlands. It's like standard practice for nurses in Europe, and we don't do it here. That's why people get tren cough with steroids, is because you inject the tren, you don't aspirate, you hit the vein by accident, and it goes right into your bloodstream. That's why you get tren cough.
What's trend cough?
What the hell?
Tren cough is injecting the steroid right into the vein with trenbolone or whatever. For whatever reason, it makes you feel very tight chested and start coughing. And I don't know specifically what it is. It's just something that steroid users get. I guess what tren cough feels like. Here, this guy's about to explain it. We can skip this stuff. But
You gotcha.
so then the fat, I said to the fat authority lady, I just want to make sure she can aspirate the needle. Can you just do that so you don't hit a vein? And she goes, she does it herself, and she doesn't aspirate the needle. She just sticks it right in. It was perfect. It was the most.
You gotta say that's ace, top class,
Yeah.
first class.
I said Chief's kiss.
Hey,
was she looking at you when she was doing it?
She was posting on Reddit on her phone as she was doing it. Look what I did to this Trump supporter.
Don't you like that? Don't you like subtle?
Yeah.
I like that. Don't you like penetration like that? No, do it this way. Does it her own way? Penetrates you without your consent?
She did it
love
her
that.
own. She penetrated me without
Love
consent.
that.
She did it her own way that day.
That was like the stupid bitch that put a needle in my daughter's foot. This fucking. She's like, she wasn't being quiet, so I gave her a shot. The first day she was born.
Oh,
I wanted to her fucking face. I was like, and she was like
Yeah.
a nurse.
Damn.
I was like, you got to
Yeah.
be fucking kidding me right now, right? I was like
Damn.
losing my
A
mind.
shot of what?
I don't know.
good luck.
Oh.
Good luck finding out.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
You know, like it's like, okay, I'll every nurse in here.
yeah.
I hope
Damn.
that, yeah. So it's like, I hope the nurse gets fucking
They-
brutally.
I don't think they would see it your way, but
Yeah,
I
I know.
appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's true though. Like hospitals, they're like idiot.
If it ever goes lawless, I'm just gonna doctors and nurses. Trevin, you cut that or just bleep it out. I'm gonna shake hands with them.
They're getting really loose.
They gotta go, man.
So I go in there. I'm like, yeah, fucking golf, Dr. Golf over there didn't feel like fucking looking at it. She's like, yeah, they're really infected. I'm like, yeah. So I'm making small talk with the cute dork doctor, right? And I'm like, oh, everybody must be like herpes to you. I couldn't be a nurse because everybody looks like a big giant fucking cold sore. This is gross. I have a mortgage. I live in a house that's clean. My ears look like two bums have been f***ing all over a dead rat carcass. This is gross to
room.
me. She goes like this, take this and then I'll never have to see you again. It was like I'm like, wow, that's loose. Like I try jokes like that in the car business.
Mm-hmm.
Like ones where you're like this, like you can take a joke when you're pissed off, right? Like you can like break something on
It'll
like,
turn your mood. You'll go,
like you can break like your key for your car and you know it's like $1,000 thing and I'm like, nice move, dipshit. And like you'll be like, fuck yeah. You know, like that works with your friends,
Right.
you know, like
Yeah.
but like they're just pulling that over the counter, like, and she's too dorky and socially awkward enough to know that I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like this here, and now I won't ever have to see. Hopefully, I'll never have to see you again.
It is time to start being rude and nasty to nurses and doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Be rude and nasty to a nurse or doctor today as soon as possible.
Fair.
And don't shit where you eat. Don't do this at your practice that you go to where you need help. But if you see people walking
good
around with
advice.
nurses scrubs on the street, it's time to start yelling. Hey asshole,
On the
fuck
top of the
you!
head.
Get out of the way!
Hey bitch, get out of the street! That's not illegal. That's not illegal.
No.
And if you yell that at somebody in nurse scrubs, what are they going to do? Throw a brick at your car?
They can't even throw because
No.
they're so rich.
They're not. Hey, bitch, get out of the street. Bitch. Next time you see scrubs, hey, are you a vet or are you work on humans? You work on humans? Hey, bitch, fuck you. Fuck you.
Hey, come over here. Open the door.
That's not illegal.
Yeah.
You can't get arrested for yelling "fuck you, bitch" out of a car.
Can you get arrested for saying this could be and holding a your own?
Can you smell it?
This could be
Post the video of yourself legally talking to
A doctor.
a nurse
Hopefully
or
a
a doctor
doctor's first,
on the
though.
street. Fuck the nurse. The nurse has got to go,
the
man.
nurse
They
has
got to
gotta
go.
I know.
I understand.
Hey, bitch, fuck you, bitch. Bye.
You see, some of them don't know what they're doing, but some of them do.
At this point, it doesn't matter. It's just criminal negligence. Just the law.
Yeah.
The law applies to everybody.
I understand, and everyone and God understands. I'll tell you that.
What's the look up the Latin phrase? The law is harsh, but it is the law.
It's nurso equito firemano.
Dura lex sed lex. There you go.
Lex
Hey.
said Lex.
2,000 years
Dura
old.
said.
That means yell, "Hey, bitch, get out of the street, you ugly fat bitch."
Oh,
Not
what
illegal.